Cowherd, they playing mind games here, or is there something really wrong with Brady?
I would take Brady wearing an oven mitt over Blake Bortles. But he was agitated. It's something. It's a throwing hand. It's stitches. It's cold weather. So it's something. And a Vegas line doesn't move 2 points if it's not something. Because, you know, word spreads. Word spreads. And multiple people are saying it's worse than people think. Now, here's the good news. Of their 6 touchdowns, of their 5 touchdowns against Tennessee, they were all from the 6-yard line in. They're not asking him to stretch the field. They're not asking him to do a lot. It is quick, timing, efficiency, close, and they have great corners in Jacksonville. They're not asking him to throw up down the sideline. It is a fairly rhythmic, timing, short passing game.
I think that the injury is serious today. And yesterday, he missed practice. I think by Sunday, I kind of think he's going to be fine. I think we've all experienced a cut on our hand that, you know, for a day or two bothers us. But you're talking about he's got 48, 72 hours to recover.
Yeah, it was
from
Wednesday,
this.
so it's actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right. And so I think come game time, he's going to be fine. I do think it's going to limit his preparation today, and that may have some impact. But again, at the end of the day, I don't think they're playing a mind game. I think he did something here that required stitches, but I think he'll be fine come game day.
The stitches don't. The cut is nothing. Cut doesn't bother me at all. It's the x-rays. They were looking if there was a fracture. They were looking at ligament damage. If he has not the ability to grip the ball, because your thumb is what you grip
deflate
it with,
the
right?
ball. He won't be able to deflate.
Well, if you don't know that, but like if he can't grip the ball, that would be what I would be worried about. But here's the deal. You know, we act like Tom Brady, because we don't know about it, has never gone out and played with an injury. If you
on his throwing hand, Mark?
Anywhere. It doesn't matter. If you play in the NFL, you play hurt. You better not only play hurt, you better play injured. And you know what you better play? Well injured. And I guarantee you that guy has gone out and played exceptionally well injured. It's never a problem until it becomes a problem. If he can grip the ball, I think he'll throw it just fine. And I think the one thing, and Colin brings a great point about how quick the passing game is, the one thing you worry about is accuracy in that, because it's short pass. We think that those are the easiest passes. Those oftentimes are the hardest ones to put it with touch. You know, you've got to layer it over a defensive player into the hands of your offensive running back, and it's got to be on his hands in stride so that he can actually get those yards. You know, the difference between him and a lot of quarterbacks is those quarterbacks are waiting, they're turning on the back shoulder, they're stopping, they're catching the ball, and that allows that flat defender to get there and defend that route. And the next thing you know, instead of a 9-yard gain, it's 2nd down and 9. And that's the difference between the accuracy and the layered throws that you have to make in that offense.
You know, to me, it's not an issue until it becomes an issue. Mm-hmm. If he gets into the game and he can't be effective, he can't do the things that he normally does, then it becomes an issue. This is
let me ask you this, though. He missed practice yesterday.
He don't need
He don't need practice. That's not an issue?
Tom Brady doesn't need practice, okay? He already said, why would I quit when I got the answers to the test? Okay, so if it's just a physical thing, a timing thing, it's not like he doesn't know his wide receivers, not like he doesn't know what cover 2 is or cover 3 is or cover 1 is and what he wants to do against it. He doesn't need to practice, okay? They're being precautionary because that's the right thing to do with a quarterback like this who doesn't need to practice. You got to remember what it was like back in the day, Mark, when we played. Mm-hmm. If guys showed up on the injury report and something was hurt, what was the first thing the defenses did? They went after it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? So if there's something really wrong with that hand, the first time I go in and I rush Tom Brady, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to grab that hand. I'm going to tweak that hand. I want to see just how healthy that hand really is. And this is the Patriots' way. To not give up anything, not to give up any information, to just make it seem like, to create doubt. Watch him go out and throw for 300 yards on Sunday.
Now, Jacksonville does have great corners. So I believe this game's going to be played right in the middle of the football field. It's going to be tight end, Gronk, running backs, and I think they'll run the football pretty effectively. We're concentrating a lot on Brady and the offense. The story of this game, I would argue, is can Bortles play a mistake-free football? The Patriots' defense is now #1 in the league in red zone defense. They're now 18 sacks in 3 games. Brady may not be the factor we think. The factor is with this.
He's playing arguably the best defense in football.
That just left 42 on the table against Pittsburgh. You can beat this defense. I think we're paying attention. I think the story of this game is not Brady. He'll be effective. The question's going to be, is Bortles capable of playing mistake-free football? And I don't think he is.
Brady will be effective. Let me tell you why. Because the New England game plan is to be able to take what the defense gives you. They're not stressing. They're not trying to force anything. They're going to take what the defense gives you, 3 yards here, 4 yards here, 5 yards here, first down, move the chains. They're going to do that until they get a little bit of lead on you. And the minute that you do something that's out of character, something that you don't want to do, the minute you come with a blitz and he gets a pre-snap read on it, that's when they take the shot downfield to Brandon Brooks. That's when they take the shot downfield to Robert Gronkowski. They're just happy to just move the ball down the field and control the flow of the football game.
Here's the deal. It's funny because I'm doing a radio show just yesterday. I'm on the phone. And somebody says, which Blake Bortles is going to show up? The Blake Bortles of Buffalo or the one that was exceptional against Pittsburgh? Said, in Buffalo, he completed 51% of his passes. In Pittsburgh, he completed 52.8% of his passes. That's exceptional. 14 to 26 for 214 yards. The difference was in the red zone, he was 5 for 5. They scored 5 touchdowns down in the red zone.
And they won't against New England because that's New England's defensive core.
I hope Tom Coughlin and Doug Marrone and the Jacksonville, I hope they're watching this. You guys are all way overconfident on the New England Patriots. This is the best defense Brady will face this year. And I know what Pittsburgh did to him. And again, and I know I started off talking about, look, his hands should be fine come game day. But I've seen Tom Brady go through stretches of inaccuracy. He's done that before, this season and even last season. We saw the first 3 quarters of the Super Bowl a year ago. He's capable of being off his game for a stretch, and now you're adding he's not going to get his normal preparation. I think y'all are underestimating Jacksonville way too much.
By the way, Jacksonville has been on the road. This is the 4th time in 5 weeks. Teams in the NFL that score over 40 in the playoffs, they come back the following week and they lay eggs. That's the biggest win in Jacksonville in a decade. You think they're going to match it? There's no way they're going to match that level.
Man, I've seen people get counted out. It ain't just Rocky movies. This happens in real life. When everybody sits around, you got no chance. And again, we've heard him make a lot of public comments, but they're feeding off of that. I can remember the New England Patriots running out onto the field as a group against the St. Louis Rams. Oh, they got no chance. It's the greatest offense that's ever been invented. And they went out there and they took that mindset and they shoved it up the rear end of the Rams. Again, I'm not suggesting here that I think Jacksonville's going to win, but they damn sure got a chance.
I'm not minimizing in the least little bit what Jacksonville brings to the table because they are a formidable, and ferocious defense. There's no doubt about that, okay? But you're talking about the team that's done it 5 out of the last 7 times that they've been there, okay? You're talking about arguably the best quarterback in the history of this game. You're talking about arguably the best coach in the history of this game.
Against Doug Marrone and Blake Bortles.
Against Blake
Tom
Bortles.
Coughlin, who's got a history.
Tom Coughlin, what is Tom
He's
Coughlin?
got a history.
He's not calling any plays, and he ain't making no tackles.
All right, let's say that
he might have the formula based on what they did in New York, but the dynamics are different.
By the way, those giant wins over the Patriots were on neutral fields with Eli. This is in Foxborough with Bortles.
Let's say that Brady does struggle for a quarter, okay?
Or 3.
Okay, let's say he struggles for 3. Is Jacksonville going to be up 28-0, 28-3?
No chance.
With 3 quarters of none.
By the way,
they're going to have a bet. They won't need to be because they got a better defense than Atlanta had last year, and they won't be stupid and not run the ball. They're going to run Fournette. Again, I'm not predicting. I may flip.
Go, do it.
Let me ask you a question. If this game came down to the last 2 minutes, who are you taking?
Well, the people that do it all the time. I would take Belichick and Brady.
Well, there you go.
So who do you think will be good?
In all likelihood, that's where it's going to be.
I'm not sure the 9-point spread was ridiculous. I don't like the 7.5-point spread. This is a 4-point game, in my opinion. Patriots win, but it ain't even a blowout.